The film opens with Joel Dawson narrating what happened to Earth. Joel states that 7 years earlier, a meteor called Agatha 16 came hurtling toward the planet, but nations destroyed it with rockets. Consequently, chemical compounds landed on the Earth's creatures, which turned creatures such as insects, crabs, and slugs into gigantic monsters. The human population was 95% wiped out within 1 year. Joel has lived in a bunker colony with survivors ever since. In his colony, Joel is the only one without a romantic partner. As he is prone to freezing when it comes to monsters, his biggest asset is making minestrone and occasional handiwork, since he usually has to listen to everyone having sex near him. In addition to drawing the ones he has seen, he keeps a guide for surviving in the new world. One day he manages to make contact with Aimee over the radio, his old high school girlfriend. She is staying with another colony of survivors at Jenner Beach, just 85 miles from where Joel is. Suddenly, their connection is cut when an ant monster breaches the colony. Joel wants to prove himself to the others that he can fight them too. Against everyone's orders, Joel goes armed with a crossbow. The monster finds Joel, who freezes before the ant is shot with an arrow and then decapitated. A flashback is shown of the day that the monster apocalypse began. Joel and Aimee were sitting on a hill in her car overlooking the town. He drew a picture of her but admits that it's terrible.
What the? Is that a beard?
As they start to make out, they hear sirens and see the rockets being launched. They proceed to head back to their loved ones. Joel decides to go out on his own to find Aimee, but the rest of the colony advises against it because it would be extremely dangerous and he is wildly unprepared for what is out there. Joel says that he does not want to spend the end of the world alone, so the others relent and let him go with whatever weapons he can carry. Not long into his venture, he finds a frog monster in a pond. Joel is helped out by a stray dog, who bites the frog's tongue when it tries to eat Joel. Joel follows the dog into the bus, where he sees that the dog is called Boy. The dog has a red dress that once belonged to his previous owner, and he gets defensive when Joel touches it. Joel spends the night in the bus with Boy. When Joel wakes up in the morning, Boy wants to follow him. Joel allows Boy to follow and finds he becomes an excellent companion, even preventing Joel from eating poison berries. While walking, Joel falls into a nest of worm monsters. After being found by survivors Clyde and Minnow, they pull him out and kill the creatures with a katana and grenade. As they berate Joel for being out in the field with his limited experience, they offer to let him and Boy join them in the mountains where the temperature is too cold for the giant insects. Joel learns about monsters from Clyde and Minnow, such as how to identify them, the worms were sand gobblers, and even how to use his crossbow more effectively. While on their journey, they come across a giant snail monster they call boulder snails. Clyde has Joel take his shirt off so that his scent can be carried away by the creature and draw away the other monsters. He and Minnow point out that some of the yucky, slimy-looking giant monsters are friendly, but you can mostly tell by looking at their eyes. Their constant fear is that the monsters will steal food supplies before they can get to it. After he tells them that he's searching for Aimee, they encourage him not to settle, even at the end of the world. After reaching their farthest point, Joel decides to separate from Clyde and Minnow. While the little girl is upset, Joel gives her a tube of lipstick as a keepsake, which she enjoys and is grateful for. Before they parted ways, Clyde also gave him a few words of encouragement. When Joel continues with Boy, they encounter a large centipede monster that almost eats him. Joel freezes again, but recalls the days when he was with his girlfriend Aimee. Having failed to once before, he rallies his courage and shoots the monster twice to save Boy, killing it in the process. Joel and Boy seek shelter in an abandoned house and find a robot called Mauve-1S, which was originally some kind of companion before all of them shut down, including one back at Joel's colony. Mauve-1S turns on and has a limited amount of battery power left. She manages to use her radio to help Joel get in touch with Aimee, and he finds that he is less than 10 miles away from her location. Aimee tells Joel that a yacht captain has come with his crew but the radio is cut off. Mauve-1S projects a lights display and even shows Joel a video memory of his mother saying encouraging words to him, moving him to tears. Mauve-1S's battery soon runs out completely, and Joel buries the robot. The next day, Joel and Boy continue forward, but Boy jumps into the river after his owner's dress falls in. This attracts the attention of a queen sand gobbler, a very deadly monster. Joel manages to kill it by timing a grenade toss and throwing it into the creature's mouth at the right moment. However, he yells at Boy for almost getting them killed, causing the little dog to run away from Joel. He then sees he's been bitten by numerous leeches and he starts to hallucinate from the poison. He manages to find a fern that Clyde told him works as an anti-venom. He then appears to see Aimee and a few of her fellow survivors approaching him. He kisses her before passing out. When he awakes, Joel is introduced to the survivors that Aimee leads, who are mainly elderly and rely heavily on Aimee. Joel is also introduced to Brooks Cap Wilkinson, a ship captain, and his crew. As everyone celebrates their imminent departure, Aimee confesses she is glad to see Joel, but has become a different person and is still mourning someone she was in love with. Joel decides to return to his colony, contacting them on the radio and learning that it has become unsafe and that they too must leave. Cap sends Joel some berries, which he recognizes as poisonous. Realizing Cap is not to be trusted, he rushes to warn Aimee but is knocked unconscious. Joel wakes up tied up with Aimee. Cap reveals his true intentions, being that he, Dana, and a third member, Rocco, have been going to multiple colonies and robbed them of their resources by using a giant crab monster that he is controlling through electric manipulation, who also pulls the yacht. As Cap sends the crab after the survivors while they grab what they can, Joel manages to free himself and also sees the return of Boy. He sends Boy to help Aimee while they deal with the crab and the other villains. The crab grabs Joel, but Joel sees that the creature is one of the kinder monsters when he looks into its eyes. After firing at the electrical chain to free the crab attacks the yacht, eats Dana, Rocco, and then feasts on the remaining yacht and Cap. Joel decides to return to his own colony and recommends Aimee and her colony head north. They share a goodbye kiss, which seems to reignite the feelings that Aimee once had for Joel, so she promises she will find him. He leaves her with his monster survival guide and takes Boy with him on the trip back to the colony, where he's welcomed with open arms. Now that Joel has a better understanding of the creatures around him, he leads his colony to the surface and broadcasts a message to other survivors to encourage them to go to the surface and fight back. Minnow and Clyde both made it to the mountain. They hear Joel's message and wish him well, although they expect him to be eaten by snow spiders. Subscribe for more videos like this. Turn on notifications and leave a like to help a channel out. Thank you for watching.